Cheers to the alleged Cinephiles.
Are these plastic?
Yeah, they're plastic.
Hello and welcome to the Alleged Cinephiles podcast, the show where we remember it so you don't have to. Last month we watched Red One and Eraserhead, two great films. You know, one of these films is a daunting nightmare that will have you thinking about it for days on end. I'm of course talking about Red One.
Yeah.
And the other's Eraserhead, which is pretty fun.
Yeah.
Fun time.
So for those who don't know us, guys, my name's Bun from BunOwns. Right next to me, off camera, is Al. You may know him from his channel, The Mysterious Mr. Owl. And right next to me here is, you'll probably know Maxine. You'll know her from, she made a video, it's called Tone Saves the Universe.
Tone Saves the Universe, great YouTube fame.
Yeah.
You can also find me on GoatStarFM on Instagram, along as on Robo Cafe.
Yeah.
May also know from the...
That too, but we don't want to mention that.
Half of this is going to be fucking censored.
Well, we're going to start with Red One, or we're going
to start with Red One.
Okay.
Yeah.
Get the best out of the way, you know.
No, I really don't remember much in that fucking film. Like, I remember generally what happens, but just like...
I remember when we watched it, I was like, no, I don't need to take notes, I'm good. And then we spent like a month in between, like, watching that.
I did take notes for Red One.
I also took notes, but I forgot to bring the book where I took the notes.
I'm just lucky I had my phone with me,
Yeah.
so I was just...
Well, I sort of remember most of the things I wanted to say.
I remember he was like, level 4 naughty lister.
Level 4 naughty lister. Just like doing that shit. Like,
Yeah.
what a great film. Alright, so what I know down is that the color grading felt extremely muted. It's like generally like everything just looked really brown.
Yeah.
And for like a film with like a purported like $1 billion budget, like that's like how can you make a film that looked that boring?
It was purported to be $1 billion?
It was $1 billion, I think.
No, it wasn't that would be the most expensive movie ever.
Maybe with marketing, but even then, like...
Red One budget. Guys, we do our research.
We do our research very well.
It cost $250 million. That's slightly different.
Yeah, okay. That's like a quarter of $1 billion. Quarter of $1 billion spent.
No, in fact, Red One was the most expensive movie ever made.
That would be funny if it was like the most expensive film made. Fucking hell. What is the most expensive film ever made?
Probably like Avengers or some gay shit.
We're already off track. But
I don't have much to say about this film.
But that one fucking sucks. So we're not gonna.
There was one scene where The Rock was like, it was like a chase scene, I remember, and the CG looked really bad.
Yeah, it just looks like a fucking. It just turns into rubber halfway through.
Yeah, it's when Santa is kidnapped. That's what the movie's about. I'll do a plot summary in a moment. Yeah, Star Wars: The Force Awakens, cost $447 million.
Damn.
So, and I don't know if that wouldn't include marketing. The marketing was crazy.
Yeah, marketing's usually second budget.
Damn.
Okay, so concise plot summary. I'm ripping off the podcast Marvelous or the Death of Cinema for all those. Hell yeah.
Straggling to keep it together. Keep going.
Straggling.
I don't fuck. Dude, just go with your fucking synopsis, dude. Go
Okay, so Red One. It's about I think the character is called Jack. Let's go with Jack, played by Chris Evans, who's sort of a bit of a thief. He does odd jobs for hackers and the like.
Yeah, he's the best. He's like one of the best hackers in the world.
He's
Anonymous theism.
He's like Watch Dogs. He's like a Watch Dogs style guy who watches dogs. He somehow aids in the kidnapping of Santa Claus, he plays J.K. Simmons in this. Where I introduced the actors.
Yes.
So then J.K. Simmons, Santa Claus, his bodyguard is The Rock. Mr. Dwayne Johnson, Mr. Vin Diesel. So the story is about, the bulk of it you'd say is about Chris Evans and The Rock going to save Santa Claus. They take Chris Evans to the North Pole to help. They're trying to be like, well, how did you do this? Because he's like a crazy hacker. And there's lots of really fucking hilarious jokes about him discovering that Santa is real and stuff.
Yeah, cool, because it's like all of the mythos of Whole Age are like real, is the thing. And it's like a whole secret task force or whatever.
Yeah, it's more like military.
Yeah, and also they don't they don't ever call Santa Claus until like the end of the movie. I don't know if you guys
What do they call him?
They call him either like his name Nick,
Nick.
or they call him like the Red One.
Yeah.
The red one is missing. The red, like, they say that so often.
They call him Santa like once, I think.
Yeah. So they got Chris Evans and they go on wacky adventures. I seriously do not remember shit about this movie. So they go hang out with Krampus, because Krampus is also real, the evil Santa.
No, that's like a bit further along the film.
I don't remember what happens between.
They like find some guy that had information, because initially how Santa Claus kidnapped is like some sort of Russian strike team captures Santa using Spy Kids gadgets, and that causes the shitty CGI chase scene in the North Pole. Which North Pole, despite you'd think it'd be like the most vibrant place in the entire film, but it's like looks so fucking brown throughout the entire the entirety of all its scenes and that.
Well, it's like Wakanda.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, literally, they have like a fucking invisible force field around.
Yeah, they have an invisible Wakanda shield around.
Yeah.
Yeah, Santa does that. He does the Wakanda shield. Crazy movie.
Well, at the end, the Rock saves him. Yeah, and he's like, North Pole forever, and then
Christmas forever. Christmas.
So, long story short, Chris Evans also has a sort of gender ambiguous child who he's like the deadbeat father of.
Yeah, and his ex-wife is the waitress from Always Sunny. That's one thing I remember.
Yeah, and I remember this the whole scene early on when this Santa's fucking military task force is going to kidnap Chris Evans. The whole scene is just ripping off, like, in The Matrix when Neo's running away from the Smiths at the end.
Yeah.
It's the exact same, down to the music being really similar. It's really fucking weird.
I mean, if it ain't broke,
But I guess, long story short, they enlist Krampus. Oh, there's also, the villain is...
Isn't that the snowman fight before that?
Yeah, but that's when they go get the guy.
Yeah, so the villain is a witch.
Yeah. It's like a Christmas, like and some weird Russian fairy tale.
She wants to punish everyone that has been on the naughty list, as by putting him in a glass orb.
So they put Chris Evans and his gender ambiguous child in the glass orbs.
Yeah.
With snow globes, Yeah, they want to punish everyone who's naughty. By killing them or whatever. So Chris Evans and his son have to be honest with each other, I think is... Yeah, because Chris Evans' son, a gender ambiguous child, we don't know, was trying to be like Chris Evans?
Yeah, he looked up to his dad, who was they looked up to their father, who, because he was doing hacking, he was like a black hat hacker and shit.
Were they stole a bike or something?
Yeah, he was like, "You're fucking awesome, son, child."
No, he hacked the school servers to change grades. I think
Okay.
This is way lamer than what you say. He stole a bike.
Yeah, they stole information from the school and used that to blackmail the teacher and shit. So
to be in a little
video.
So, yeah, we can just talk about random bits. Yeah, long story short, Krampus and Santa murder the evil witch lady.
Because, you didn't mention Krampus and Santa are brothers.
Yeah, the Krampus and Santa are
They're
brothers.
I think that's the lore of the fairy tale, but I didn't know that until the movie.
Makes sense.
I didn't. So they're brothers, but they don't talk. But then they team up.
Just so you guys know, we're not drunk. We're just
really dumb. We're just really.
We're all autistic, so it's
yeah, we're autistic, ADD.
If you want more context for this podcast, listen to the Robo Cafe podcast.
A rad dumb bit my sister. My niece got bit by her head.
They saved the day, saved Santa, they saved Christmas, everything goes well. Basic allegory of family unity and reconnecting with your inner child.
Yeah, well, it's sort of
it's
sort of a kind of a conservative sort of story actually, because The Rock, his sort of story arc is he's losing faith in people. He's like, every year, more and more people are naughty.
He's like a chut. Like, so the Rock is becoming a chut, and he's saying, like, nothing ever happens.
Literally.
And then Santa's like, no, like, he's giving him hope fuel.
Yeah. He's sort of like, everything's worse. More and more people are transgender.
Yeah.
And then, Santa comes back. It's sort of like Trump coming back in 2025 as the leader of the free world.
No. Re-establishing unity and order, and most involved family values and Christmas. Fair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You good there?
Yeah, I just realized I can monitor the audio by plugging it in. I forget there's a headphone jack on the microphone.
Oh my god. Essentially, I put in the notes here, essentially the Matrix, but for people, i.e. Jack's capture and score. Imposed shots during chase scenes are hilarious. Looks like it kind of just looked like fucking Corridor Digital all the time.
Yeah, it feels like Corridor Digital the movie.
Also, I think also the color grain didn't help that. It just really shoddy job in that because it's either like really gray or really brown.
Yeah, I should touch on that. So, for those of you who aren't aware, joystick means penis. Quick film history. Movies used to be shot on this thing called film, which is like celluloid. It's like these little cells, that's film, alright? And things look nice because, film stock just sort of looks nice. Not every movie shot on films look nice. You need good mise-en-scène, you need good this and that. But so digital photography, by default has a very flat image, so it has a lot of information to pull from it, right? But a lot of films, big budget American films made on digital photography, they don't push it very much. They bit of a contrast curve, bit of this, bit of that, but it's not very explorative with its visuals in that aspect, you'd say. Even a lot of stuff I've seen has looked good post-color grading. Once it's had its VFX run over it, it sort of looks shit. I don't know exactly, I'm not a VFX artist or anything, but I'd say it's sort of something to do with, I don't know, you gotta smooth things over for the VFX to look realistic. I don't know, shit gets fucked up in post a lot.
Well, yeah, because it's like the idea of like, well, besides it being like way cheaper to shoot digital, like the idea is like, oh well, if you can shoot in like log and have like a lot more options, but then they just don't like do anything with it. So it's like
I also know that a lot of the time, cinematographers, they had control over the image, but a lot of the time now they aren't paid to sit there in post for the color grading or anything. Studios don't like to pay people when they don't have to. It's a good idea. Hey, if you're doing a film production, I know all these filmmakers listening to the show right now. Pay your cinematographer to sit in post when the grading is being done because they created the image. They have an idea in their head of how it should fucking look.
Yep. So Kevin Feige, if you're listening, listen to us, pal.
Listen to the three autistic adults ranting about.
Listen to this polycule's advice.
Don't actually say that because they're gonna think we are in a relationship. Al he's in our third. Anyway, listen to us. We got ideas.
Listen. I was never book smart.
I'm money smart.
I also know that a lot of the cinematography and like shots felt pretty stiff. I would say.
Yeah,
it's just Hollywood.
That is just again just Hollywood, like MCU adjacent shit.
The release of the movie was pretty funny because it was put out in theaters. So I don't believe it did terribly well in theaters, but I noticed like pretty quickly it came to Amazon Prime. I feel like it's a case of, we'll put it in theaters because we can, but really it's gonna make its money on streaming.
Yeah.
It's like a direct DVD type film.
It's like the world's most expensive direct to DVD. like anything that is straight to streaming or goes to streaming pretty quickly, a lot of it does have like that straight to DVD quality,
Yeah, it's like fucking. It's like strange, like the way like films make money now is like fucking.
It's different.
Weird with that.
Yeah. I feel like that becomes exceptionally strenuous for just like smaller budget films as well. Like especially for shit for Netflix, right? They just have like certain guidelines for how a film should be made.
Studios like won't really like there's not a lot of like mid-budget films anymore.
Yeah, I know.
Because it's like you're like competing for fucking space on everything. So it's like no, it's just like when DVD sales were a thing, you could do that. It's like it doesn't like, really happen anymore.
Yeah. To speak on that, when DVDs were around, you could do a mid-budget movie, and if it didn't do too well, like, you knew there was a solid chance that it would do well on video. I think that one of the earliest examples of that was Clerks. Made like... Oh no, I think Clerks actually did do well in theaters, but Mallrats, it was, more expensive, of course, than Clerks, which was self-funded mostly. Like, I think Kevin Smith maxed out credit cards for that shit. But yeah, Mallrats, bigger budget, but it didn't do so well. Until it hit video, where it did make a lot of money. It gained a cult following that way. I think a lot of that is just because it's not a really... He doesn't make movies that are big theatrical fucking experiences. They're just like small character dramas about like schlubby fucks.
Yeah.
So it had the opportunity to have a life on video in that way. Red One, hey?
Yeah, Red One. We're really just avoiding to talk about
like,
this film
at all.
What
the fuck is there to say about it?
It's just like a really...
I feel like we picked kind of a shitty movie.
Yeah, we just did it for the meme. It's all in Red One.
No, we
so
picked
funny.
Red One because it was like in December when we were planning this.
Yeah.
It's like at the end of February now. We just like have to...
Well, it's just like we got...
My vote was Black Christmas, which would have been a more interesting movie to talk about.
Yeah.
Whatever.
But we just...
Well, we were gonna do it. We were gonna do Red One and Black Christmas. And then David Lynch died, so in his honor.
Yeah.
And now it's also been a good while since David Lynch died.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really like hit as like the same.
We should talk a little bit about Red One more. A little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. I want we're like 22 minutes. We've hardly talked about Red One, which is really funny.
Well, we've talked about like the industry.
I think it's just more. That film's more so emblematic of how the industry is nowadays. I feel.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
it's like such a safe film.
We didn't talk directly about the movie, but we talked about the industry, which
is facilitated.
Which is why the movie is like it is. So it's not interesting to just say movie bad. We're like talking about why it's bad in a more metatextual sense.
It'd be great.
We can talk about the stuff that happens in it. Nick Kroll is in like the midway through point of the movie.
Yeah.
They're on a beach and it looks like a shot from The Room.
Yeah.
Like they're just not actually. It's clearly just a sound stage. It looks fucking bizarre. The Rock and Chris Evans are on a soundstage beach. And Nick Kroll is there doing funny Nick Kroll stuff. The man from Big Mouth.
Yeah. I'm familiar.
Yeah, well, I'm talking to the audience. I'm talking to the fan.
He's gonna be in the new Smurfs movie.
All right. Alleged Cinephiles fuck a fan contest.
Guys, if you like the Alleged Cinephiles, send your fan art and maybe we'll DM you.
Yeah, maybe we'll like hit you up with some pictures of us. Doing on.
Yeah.
Anyway, Nick Kroll shows up.
Nick Kroll shows
he
up.
gets possessed. Turns evil style.
Yeah, he gets. So they can't say the name of the witch lady, otherwise she like knows where they are. She knows what's up.
So like a Kanye situation,
Yeah. So it's a movie about like when you have like a non-binary kid that you're kind of estranged from.
Yeah.
No, you could like just be non-binary for a second, just for it to like. Make sense.
I kind of am functionally at the family gatherings. Why am I talking about this? Why am I talking?
Yeah, Red One made me think about how my family
Red One made me think about
Red One. It'll make you hate your family.
And Red One, it'll make you reconsider having relations with your family and that.
Relations.
That sounded really bad. That sounded relations.
Red One, it'll make you want to have relations.
No, fuck.
So then snowmen attack, like big snowmen. It's like the season finale of season 2 of Smiling Friends.
Yeah,
when they're on the beach, and there's snowmen. It's literally that. A Smiling Friends episode happens. Big snowmen fight. You kill them by taking off their noses, right? Yeah, it's awesome.
I love those cool Fortnite skins as well.
Yeah, it's like it's
Fortnite season 4 type beat.
It's a movie for like 10-year-old boys and their 40-year-old dads. Like, Like the 40 dads, Chris Evans is awesome. Well, that's Captain America, isn't it?
Oi, fucking, oi, you don't know Lucy Liu. She was back in the day. Oi.
Yeah, I forgot she was in that film.
Yeah,
Like,
Lucy Liu is she's like a top person at the North Pole.
Yeah. Some like CIA type beat.
Doesn't she do like some cool like fighting at the end or something?
Yeah, she did. Yeah,
Okay.
she was in like a cat suit type thing.
Dude, like, what is there to say?
There's like nothing to say about this film other than
It's also because we watched it so long ago.
Yeah, it's like I feel like in recency, if we watch it more recently, I feel like I'd have more to say about it. But I just like
But not much, probably.
Well, it's just like it just doesn't stick with you. Is the thing? It's just like what is it to say? Oh yeah, fucking The Rock kicks ass.
Yeah. I mean, it's exactly what you would think it is. Like J.K. Simmons is barely in it. He's like at the start, and then like
at the end,
he's just in a fucking time cube the whole time or whatever. He's in the Phantom Zone.
This guy's ass in a crystal, like a mysterious crystal type be like a 2-pack crystal.
Yeah,
he's
2-pack crystal prison.
Yeah, they like definitely only paid J.K. Simmons for like a couple days shooting.
Yeah.
Dude, are we done with Red One?
I think we're at 28 minutes.
What else is there to say about Red One?
Okay, so we're done with Red One. So we're on to the fun movie for the whole family, Eraserhead. So last month, the great filmmaker David Lynch passed away because of the he long-time smoker. He had to be relocated because of the LA fires, and I'm sure the smoke was really good for him. So David Lynch was killed by climate change, and the LA high class rich people who pushed for.
Sorry. I'm know. I'm sorry. Isn't the reason LA burns down all the time is because they have a bunch of fucking eucalyptus trees there that we sold them
They
in
planned
like the 20s?
them back in the 20s. Oh, this would be cool. Nothing bad will happen. It turns out that eucalyptus trees, when they light on fire, they just shoot out fucking fireballs. They just shoot.
Yeah. It's like Plants vs. Zombies. When
I'm sorry.
When you get the pea shooter and you put the little flame tree trunk in front of it, it does that.
Yeah.
From my Plants vs. Zombies heads out there.
Well, the pea shooter has many forms, is the thing. Because he has fire, ice, electric, and even shadow.
And, but look at this. It's a new mod that makes him bendy in the ink and shit.
Oh, that's sick.
So this was David Lynch's first film. It took several years for him to make. He did it in film school, right?
Yeah.
It took a lot of time, mainly because of funding and, people, not having the fucking time. It's sort of like this podcast.
Yeah. I'm like David Lynch, you know what I mean? Like, I'm in film school. I like,
Yeah,
Robot Cafe is kind of like Eraserhead, if you think about it.
I'm the baby. I know that the wife of the lead actor, whose name I can't remember, fucking gave some of her money to the production, like helped fund the production. Like it was like everyone chipped in. David Lynch, during the filming of it, for a while lived in these rebuilt stables on the campus that he just like rebuilt. And like that was part of the sets also. Yeah, it was a labor of love, and it took a bit to sort of catch on, but it took off as a midnight screening where it had like a few years run at one theater in LA. It had gained an audience that way. I don't know. The film itself, it's about how it sucks to have a fucked up baby and live in the hood, basically, and have a bitch who don't love you.
Yeah.
Basically, it's like a Drake Playboy Cardi situation where it's all you want to do is play PS5 all day, but you got a fucking bitch ass child.
No, Playboy Cardi was playing PS4.
Oh, he's playing PS4.
Yeah,
it's kind of like Gus Johnson.
In this case, they give birth to a fucked up child, and meanwhile he's just out gallivanting in like a fucked up like industrial landscape.
Yeah. So I don't want to disregard how the movie is avant-garde and kind of difficult to understand, but if it is just, when you have a fucked up baby and live in the hood, that is what the movie is about.
Basically.
Essentially.
Just relating to the anxieties of fatherhood.
Yeah.
Making, I think it's very interesting at the time, because there was a lot of emerging horror during that decade and so
the
So-
changing landscape.
Yeah, it's all like leaning more into like a psychological lens and that, and I feel like it's very interesting because it just sort of depicts, parenthood, something that's like so typically romanticized amongst that time period and that, and flip it on as like a horror film, as a body horror film more specifically, and that is really cool.
So the movie opens on Jack Nance is the actor. I remember. Just so you guys know, that's Eraserhead. So it opens on him juxtaposed over fucking space as his planet. And then a guy cranks a lever and a sperm cell falls into a little puddle. Which is a fucked up David Lynch way of filming an insemination. That is the conception of their Eraserhead baby happening, right?
Yeah.
So it shows him going through the hood. Basically, he's going through the hood, and
he's got his Kramer fit on.
He's got his Kramer fit, and he goes to see his bitch. And there's this fucked up chicken that's been chemically altered or whatever, chemically grown, that squeals when he cuts it.
Yeah, and the mom. I forgot to mention this because it's at their parents' house and that.
Yeah, it's that.
And then like the parents are like exceedingly weird. The dad's just like kind of like neurotic and like low key schizophrenic. The mom's just kind of a bitch until he cuts open the chicken, and she just fully starts getting that hawk to her, just going like just groaning and moaning on the fucking chair, and then she leaves the room.
People haven't seen this movie are going to be so. Watch Eraserhead. It's like an hour.
Watch Eraserhead,
it's
please.
An hour. Like, you won't get anything out of this.
We're talking about like how we watched up to like the first half hour of the movie,
and our toilet exploded.
Our toilet like fully like exploded in the room next to us, and we just didn't finish it until like 2 nights later.
Yeah, because the whole scene, the whole happening of our toilet exploding, kind of did feel like something that was like happening in the film as well. Because it was during that scene when the chicken was like bleeding. And I'm just like, our toilet just started like leaking brown.
It made this
water.
like horrific fucking noise.
Yeah.
Like, what is like? It's like boring to go. It's like they were just doing council work in our area, some bullshit with like the water fucked up in our house. So like a bunch of groundwater just started leaking out of our fucking toilet, and it was like.
We thought it was like shit. We thought it was.
We thought it was sewage.
Yeah, well, it's brown coming out of your toilet. You can imagine.
It was like coming out of like the pipes and shit. It was fucked up.
Yeah.
And then it was like we just like went to bed because it was late.
Yeah.
I'd like got home from work and I was just like fuck this.
Yeah.
So we just like.
That was David Lynch putting his curse on you.
Yeah, literally.
This is what you get for taking too long to record Cinephiles.
David got my back. Bro.
David, honorary lesbian Lynch. He is. Mulholland Drive. Like God.
Yeah.
Like I love that.
There's also the 2 tweets where on like a Friday he said, "I'm going to see over the weekend if I'm connected to the moon," and then on Monday he tweeted, "I believe I'm connected to the moon."
My favorite like David Lynch anecdote is when he's talking about how he got like the 5 Woody Woodpecker plushes. I felt their pain.
Yeah, so that was a thank you video to one of the theaters that played Eraserhead. It's him sitting on a couch. We'll put the clip in the video. It's him sitting on a couch surrounded by Woody Woodpecker toys, and he's just thanking the New Art LA theater and explaining the little story. I'll just put it in the clip at the end of the episode. You'll see it.
Yeah.
So his bitch's mother. I got there. His bitch's mother tries to put a move on him and then tells him that his bitch is pregnant, right? And then she says, "We don't even know if it's a baby," which is like funny and weird until you see it, and it's like this fucked up. It looks like meat from Vine Sauce. You ever see that?
Yeah, that's what I thought. Like initially.
Like the little worm guy. No one knows specifically what they made that puppet out of. It's like rumored to be like a skinned dead rabbit or something, or like a skinned dead calf. Like it's clearly organic matter.
Yeah.
And like David, no one who worked on the production has ever said what it is.
Maybe it was an actual baby. Maybe it was
Well, David, like, Yeah, they skinned a baby.
They skinned a baby.
I went for the planned
New
narrative.
creepypasta. Did you know in Eraserhead they skinned an actual baby for the Eraserhead baby?
Well, when David was asked one time, I know he said, "No, we just found it."
We found it. I swear to God, I just feel like Eraserhead is just like, I'm sorry I'm getting off track here.
Yeah.
We've done this so many times throughout this podcast, but
It's
like,
what it is.
It is what it is. It's organic, you know, that's how the flow goes.
Stream of conscience, bro.
But-
It's like,
But I can just brace it. It's just like, if... It's just like the Kramer subplot of like a Seinfeld episode.
Yeah.
So you never see what Kramer's up to.
Yeah.
We just like had a whole episode just dedicated just to like the type of
this
shit.
is what Kramer's doing on any given episode.
Yeah. Jerry just be like, I don't like her. She eats with her mouth open. Meanwhile, the Kramer subplot, just ripping open the dead baby.
Jerry, you gotta help me. I got a baby. You gotta look after my baby.
Fucked up baby, Jerry's a fuck.
Oh, can't be that fucked up.
What the fuck? Put that thing in the trash.
So throughout the film, Jack Nance, Eraserhead, he's visited by visions of different women. He has this beautiful lady live in the apartment across him. There's a woman who he sees in his radiator, who sort of, I guess, are like different types of escapism, you'd say.
Yeah, because
Like-
they all like have resemblance to his wife. And
Yeah, his wife leaves one night because the baby just doesn't stop screaming, and he's just left to take care of it himself. So again, it's about what happens when your baby's fucked up and you live in the hood.
Yeah.
Well, it's a subversion of expectation because, you know, typically
usually-
it's the dad that walks out. So
True.
it's kind of I don't want to say feminist, but sort of a
Sort of femme fatale.
Sort of a like a bitches be crazy, like
You know, bitches be shopping and care.
it's like David Lynch showing solidarity to all the single moms out there in the hood. You know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, because David Lynch did in fact live in the hood and had a fucked up baby at the time. His baby had like a fucked up foot. She directs like episodes like CSI now, I think. Shout out.
Good for
Oh,
her.
so-
Yeah.
She doing good.
Going from a Eraserhead baby to, you know, CSI. That baby, you know, if that baby could have lived,
It would
it
have
could have
been
a savant.
CSI.
It could have been like directed. It could have like spearheaded the direction of a new society type beat. Young Thug City, some would say. Some
Like
Razorhead.
Akon City.
Yeah.
Eraserhead Baby City. At one point, there's a crazy fucked up dream sequence where he's just where his head falls off and rolls out the window and gets picked up by a child who carries it into a store. And there's a really funny ass scene where it's just this child standing in the store with this man's head, and the guy at the front of the store is just hitting the buzzer over and over again before his boss walks in and screams at him and shit. And they turn his head into
races.
yeah. Well, what did they do? But they also sharpen the pencils.
Yeah, it's the eraser on top of pencils specifically.
Yeah.
It's like a weird fucked up like contraption that they fucking use to like make it.
Yeah, which I believe that whole sequence is just a dream that David had, and it's what inspired the movie, because he had written a script, but it was I believe it was too long for what they wanted to fund, so he wrote a script just based on this dream he had. So they were sort of going off of their like, oh, you know, like a page of a script is like a minute or whatever, so it's like 20-page script, so like, oh yeah, it'll be like 20 minutes, is like a little more than that. The movie's like an hour 20. So Get Owned, Unite was United Artists, I think, who funded it. Yeah, fuck you guys. Yeah, fuck you guys. So I don't think that scene means anything.
I kind of interpret it as his like is kind of like a visual representation of like him just going slowly insane.
Yeah.
Like just losing patience. Because it just like they take like the eraser bits out of his brain and that. So they get like a little drill. So I just and they like just start erasing shit onto it, and that is just sort of like symbolic of like, you know, his like sanity just sort of like degrading.
Erasing, yeah.
Yeah. I interpreted it that way, and
yeah, well, I think that what's cool about it is like a lot of this movie doesn't really. A lot of it isn't literally meant to mean anything.
Well, that's like a lot of Lynch's shit in general.
Yeah,
just
anything kind of avant-garde. It's like the artist doesn't necessarily intend anything. Just like, what about this? What if this happened? Then you gotta you think about it yourself and you come up with your own meaning.
Yeah.
Well, that's the beauty of surrealist film, right? It's like,
Yeah.
'cause it relies so heavily on the dreamscape.
Yeah.
And just a lot of it can just be, like, so much, like, so open for interpretation. And it doesn't, like, it helps with, like, Lynch's shit, because he typically likes to keep shit ambiguous, and that's part of the fun as well.
Yeah, well, he said famously in an interview, Eraserhead is my most spiritual film. Elaborate on that. No.
Good.
Which I agree with. I would agree with. It's a very spiritual film. Like a lot of his films, there's a literal story to it, but this one is less so, more than a lot of his stories. Like, you know, Twin Peaks is a basic narrative it follows. It goes into some crazy shit. But, you know, it's a murder mystery in a small town. At its core. Eraserhead at its core is like, what if a baby was fucked up, and then the rest of it is like the avant-garde shit, you know?
Why can the mic pick up my breathing so heavily?
Because you're directly in front of it, I guess?
Yeah, but it's like, I'm not even breathing that loudly. I'm just like... It just sounds like that. Like,
I'll
yeah, sorry for anyone listening if they hear me breathing.
We'll mess around their levels, though. We'll mess around.
I will.
Yeah, you will be. I don't know why I'm saying using we a lot.
Guys...
Look, I've edited a podcast.
I'm on it.
Like, I know what I'm talking about. I know.
Can I not crank ISO and the mode on them?
We're back at the Cinephiles headquarters. Over some minor technical difficulties.
We just had to crank ISO, you know.
Yeah, it's just getting darker. So
we don't really rely on natural life.
Got a refill on our Coca-Colas.
Yep.
It's fine wine. What do you mean?
It's fine wine. Look, because of how brown it is, right? You just know that shit's good, you know?
Yeah, it's aged.
It's aged wine. I got it from the vineyards of Sicily.
I think if your wine is brown, I think it means something has gone in it that you probably
No,
shouldn't
it's good wine. And also the bubbly in it as well. I add a little bit of champagne just to make it taste a little bit. Red wine.
Well, I just let her do whatever to me, so...
Just for the record, I don't do...
I'm like a very passive lover, you know what I mean?
Hey,
Eraserhead.
You guys keep talking about Eraserhead. Anyway, you were up to the... What were we up to in the synopsis and that? So it's like the can I continue the synopsis?
Yeah, you
I feel like it'd be fine. So like the bitch wife, she's like continually upset with him about like how the baby is like driving him mental essentially, and she just gets up and leaves.
Yeah.
And just leaves him and the baby. And in the meantime, for this, he escapes through these various dreams of this woman he sees in his like in his vents.
With his
Radiator. No, also coincidentally, we've talked about this and that. The baby keeps like keeps having problems, and like as soon as he tries to leave the house, it starts crying. As soon as he stops paying attention to it, it gets really sick and fucked up. It's kind of like there's like a shot of like the baby itself, where it just looks like one of those SpongeBob close-ups. It's like all blistered and fucked up looking.
Speaking of babies.
Oh, look at our baby! Look at our fucked up baby.
Yeah, there we
Yes, Gideon. So this is Gideon.
It's that little son, Gideon.
It's our little boy. He's kind of fucked up. We buffed. And look how beautiful he is. Look how beautiful. Anyway, it escalates, but he keeps seeing this neighbor throughout him, who's like kind of like a seductress type woman and that, like Lady of the Night, type beat. And she at some point after his wife leaves him, and after like a couple of dream sequences, she knocks on the door saying, "I locked myself out. Can I stay with you tonight?" And he's just like, "Oh, I'm gonna get my dick wet, but I got my fucked up baby in the background."
Yeah.
So they start fucking in his bed, but the bed turns into like a weird soporific pool.
Yeah.
And the lady just continually keeps looking at the fucked up baby, and then as they sink lower and lower into this pool, we just see the planetoid thing, the beginning of the film again.
Yeah.
So it's implied, it's symbolic of like sex and whatnot, type beat. That leads into the dream sequence of like him like his head getting chopped off and that. Yeah, and then you didn't bring up the tree thing that got brought in that started bleeding around like a gash type thing. You remember that?
This is the problem with having watched the episode of the movie like a month ago. I vaguely do, yes.
Yeah, because the baby that's why his head came off. Is the baby's head just explodes out from his head. So like an alien type beat.
Yeah.
And the baby's just like, ah! this like, and then his like head just like on the floor, like the blood just gushes out and that.
Yeah.
He wakes up from that and he's like, wow, what a fucking insane dream. And then he looks through the like the peephole and that, and he sees like a
Peep show.
not peep show. No, that was before. He looks through it, like he looks at like the neighbor, just to say hi, good morning or whatever. And she's with like another man who look kind of like sort of like NTR ending type beat. And
Cardiac arrest due to overdose.
Yep. She just looks at him with pure disgust, and the baby's just laughing at him the entire time and that. So he just he goes to the point and gets a scalpel, and like opens the baby's cast and just splits open because it's just wrapped in a bark cast. It's like, oh, doctors just like fix him up and that. And you just try to free him. It turns out this cast was just his skin. It just fucking rips him open.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, throughout all of this, me and Bun were having dinner and eating pesto pasta. So just like in the darkness of the room, and just seeing this fucked up baby's organs just splayed out and just like popping and pussing up and shit. Yeah. And meanwhile, just like seizing up. I'm just like, I was like wincing and moaning the entire time we were watching it. Not in that sense. Viewers, you have to believe me. It was disgust. It was disgust.
I watched the movie late as fuck at night, and I finished the movie. I was like, that's interesting. I'm gonna go to sleep now.
Yeah, we kind of also. Did
yeah, I was like, I wasn't. It stuck with me, but I wasn't like fucking traumatized from it. I wasn't like.
I could eat my dinner fine. So
yeah. I couldn't eat. Like I just remember the scene where like during one of like the escapist dream sequences of like the lady dancing and that, and just the weird fetuses falling onto the floor, just stepping on them. I was like, I felt like I was gonna like vomit.
Yeah, because you were looking away because you were trying to eat your dinner, and then like. But then, like, it started playing the sound of her, like, stepping on, like, fetuses.
Yeah.
So it was fucked anyway.
Yeah, I was like, ah.
Which I think that sort of represents, again, more just escapism. Like, yeah, like, don't worry about the babies, bro. I'll just kill them. I don't care.
Yeah.
You know? So yeah, the baby cuts it open, then what? It, like, grows fucking massive.
Yeah, the head just starts looking at him. He's like fully losing his mind. He's like, oh, and he's like, no, he doesn't do. He's just like stunned.
Yeah.
And like the lights are like flickering on. That the whole power's in the entire building is going fucky.
Yeah.
And then just like the lights flickering on and off, and as like the head gets closer to him, just like a shot of the planet again of the planet. Yeah. And then it explodes. And he like goes inside of it. It's like light in there, and he sees the woman from like the escapist dreams. Yeah.
So it's about when you have a fucked up baby, you live in the hood, and then you're like, man, I'm leaving this baby for a bad bitch.
It's a man. I'm gonna play PS4 all day and watch VR porn type beat.
Yeah.
Essentially that.
Eraserhead, he gets a quest too, and he looks up. Which is the better type of VR.
Let's move on from that subject, but look at this.
Back
it's
Eraserhead. Back to her.
So yeah, this film was, big deal in terms of, something so avant-garde and fucked up and crazy for its time, and again, like Macx said, like flipping the whole idea of like having a child and birth and all that.
It's just sort of like depicting the horror of it,
Yeah,
like
depicting
the
like
fear that it generates.
Yeah, like previous depictions might be like even if you're poor, like you got the nuclear family, you're sort of working out, but it's more like what if you're like fucked up? What then?
Yeah.
You gotta add something. We've been chatting.
I just got home from work and shit. I was like,
you're living that Eraserhead life.
Yeah, you are. You are fucking living the Eraserhead life.
I just work 5 days a week and come home and fucking eat dinner with my girlfriend.
We watch movies.
Yeah, and I just liked how it looked.
It was a very good looking film.
Yeah, I just like pretty films, you see.
Yeah.
I didn't get the symbolism of like the hay in like the rooms and that. He's got like grass and shit, and in that like the parents' house there is just grass there as well.
I think that's just like David Lynch has said, like how he got into films. It's like he liked painting, and he thought like, what if it moved? So I think a lot of it is just like expressionist sort of random additions, sort of just adding to the dreamlike nature. It's sort of just adding to the dreamlike.
So like kind of like a mindscape type.
It's
type
like fundamental surrealist shit.
Oh,
like I mean, if you
Yeah.
I remember this, like, well, no, it's like on topic. It's like we fucking did a surrealist film unit in like grade 12.
Yeah, they
11?
did. Well, it's like they showed us like
Something,
Lynch films.
Yeah, I just forget what year it was, but yeah.
You leave year 12. I believe.
Yeah, and like they did just show us like Mulholland Drive.
Yeah.
I think that's all they showed us.
Well, we had a choice between Eraserhead and Mulholland Drive, and everyone wanted to watch Mulholland Drive because of the lesbian sex.
Yeah,
scene.
because our film teacher said this one has lesbian sex in it. So
Yeah.
people,
all the fucking everyone was like, yes! Like,
it was just like, that's what I mean though when you say like it's like Lynch shit is just like fundamental surrealist film, where it's like the whole point of it like doesn't really have to make sense.
That might pick up on the microphone.
I hope it does, bitch. Like none of it. Well, like I like that because like that unit was fucking awesome.
Yeah, it was
like,
great.
That's like the reason I do film as like a degree.
And then we did.
Because it was like, oh, I can make shit that isn't like boring, like fucking
film. Yeah.
Yeah, you just think like, oh, movies are
going
just,
from like having the worst teacher for that class, and then it's like,
yeah, we had a film teacher. That's
it was like it's just like doing like stock standard like horror film trailers and that. It's like, well, it doesn't have like. It doesn't rely on like conventions though, because you had ironic.
Well, okay, it was the dumbest fucking thing. So the unit was a horror film trailer, and it was like make like a trailer for like a fake horror film that you're making or whatever. And the one thing he said is the grading was too bright, which I did agree with, but also I was in like grade 10, and he never. I don't think this teacher.
It was an absentee teacher.
I don't believe this teacher knows how to use editing software, so I didn't really know how to like do that. I tried, but like I could only get so far with like Premiere fucking grading tools without knowing anything on how to do it. So, but like whatever. He said like, oh yeah, it's not dark enough, and I was like, yeah, I know. And then he also said like, so the trailer I made, it was like a slasher film thing, whatever, and. Like, I said it to, fucking, I forget the band name now, but this Happy Together, the song. Fucking, I can feel it.
The Beach Boys?
Is that the Beach Boys? I don't, whoever the fuck.
Hey guys, we don't know the names of, like, the most, like, famous songs ever.
This song is called Happy Together, I just forget
the names of the band.
Yeah.
The Turtles.
Yeah, there you go. I use that as the song, like, very clearly because it's ironic. Because it's like, oh, this song is called About Being Happy.
Yeah.
But people are dying. And
I remember this story now.
Yeah, he was like, oh, I didn't get it. Like, why is there, like, happy music in it? And I was like...
That's every horror
trailer.
Yeah.
Like, another kid from my class had to, like, come to me, like, after class and be like, don't worry, I understood what you meant.
Just, like, failing to understand thematic irony in that.
Yeah, it's like in Us, when they play fucking NWA over the speakers. Like, it's because it's funny.
Yeah.
Like...
Especially because it's a trailer. The thing, like, it's... I'm thinking marketing here.
That is like classic guys who only like representational art shit, where it's like this... That's crazy though. Like, even the slightest bit of like irony or subtext or anything, like I don't get it.
Yeah.
It wasn't. But yeah. This is sort of a more interesting style of filmmaking, sort of as opposed to the style of filmmaking present in Red One. You know, which is so, you know, straightforward by the numbers. This that you know.
It is funny to like have Red One is like a film that is like made in like a lab of like.
Yeah.
All of these, like, it's like such a formulaic, like, just like built up, like, all of the conventions, just standard Hollywood bullshit.
Yeah.
And then comparing it to, like,
that's why I think
abstract
this
film.
isn't a terrible pairing.
Oh yeah,
because it
just shows like
allows us
the
to
contrast in
jumpstart,
cinema and that the contrast between just like complete movie slop, like just like showing like the process and like complete control like media conventions and like by extension Hollywood has over like filmmaking and between like pure expressionist like cinema, just pure creative freedom, just pure
it was something he really didn't compromise on at all. Like he never fucking compromised. Like I know he essentially was going to quit the film course because he was like, man, fuck this. But then they were like, well, you can just do your movie if you want. And I think like one head of United Artists or whatever was like, I'll quit if you don't let this guy make this movie. And like, okay, and then they fired him. like people, he had shooters, which is awesome. When you're doing something like this, especially at a time like that, or even probably a time like now. You know,
especially now.
You gotta have shooters.
I don't think anyone at my uni would fucking do that shit for any student.
Well, just like you ask like most film students, it's just like I like Disney films. I like Disney.
Nah.
You're an animation.
Film students just like Tarantino films.
Like animation students don't even fuck with Disney films. Well, some of them do, but most of them are just kind of like I like cartoons.
Some people in my course have just like, oh yeah, my favorite film's Harry Potter type shit. But like they kind of like. There are like a lot of just film bro stereotypes who do like it is just due to like Tarantino movies, which is like he's not bad. I drag on him, but like because he's like very like he just bites everyone's like fucking like,
but
swag.
Literally he's just
but, like it's not like he like has ever like not said that he does.
Well, he just unabashedly loves film.
Yeah,
and that. He just bites a lot of like. From like black cinema and that, so just like
it's a bad one to bite from because all he does is bite, which is fine. Yeah, but like you're just it's a watering down of a watering down.
Yeah,
if you're just trying to.
I just like these motherfuckers going in here. It's like Tarantino knows how to craft a scene.
Yeah, what was the I feel like
I think we're just talking about the contrast between them.
Like different types of filmmaking that are more interesting. So like something like Lynch or whatever, like it comes straight from the soul. It's real soulful filmmaking where it's it's an unfiltered, from his unconscious even in some ways, how particular scenes are inspired by dreams he has. Like a lot of his paintings were, and then his films. He's done music as well. I know, like any songs in any of his films or anything like he writes the lyrics for. Like he wrote the lyrics for the song that the Dream Lady sings in this. So he's very involved with everything. As opposed to, I don't think the director of Red One was directly involved with every fucking part,
Yeah, there's a difference between like intimate auteur style filmmaking and fucking Red One.
Yes, a lot of because a lot of these studio films, it sort of is the studio comes to you with an idea, and then you're just sort of there to like manage people on the day.
Yeah. Well, even just interesting, like, because I've done like production classes in like fucking uni with like. People who like, I'm pretty connected with people in the industry. See, there's like tutors who like are producers on like random Australian films or whatever. It's like interesting explaining their like the whole thing because what like their job mostly is like shopping for a director for a like project as opposed to the other way around. Which is interesting, and usually those films suck dick, but also. Because all my tutors work in like the Australian film industry, so most of everything sucks dick, unfortunately.
Well, it just has to go to Screen Australia. It's like very rigorous in what.
To get Screen Australia funding, you need
it needs to be an Australian narrative.
Yeah, it needs to be deemed like in some way like culturally significant.
Which is so fucking nebulous at the same time, so restrictive.
We should probably cut this. If we ever want to get funding from Screen Australia in the future, just have a podcast where we just shit on it.
No, fuck Screen Australia.
I don't think they're gonna ever watch this. I don't think they're gonna like,
fucking...
Australian media used to be fucking awesome because
it means they used to be funny and then fucking
you could basically write an entire movie off on tax, so everyone made a fuck ton of movies now.
And then John Howard.
That's like when like Mad Max and fucking Crocodile Dundee and
like
shit
Wake
came out.
Wake and Fright.
Haven't seen it yet. Classic.
Haven't seen it yet. Classic. I know Wake and Fright is one of Tarantino's favorite movies because he says like a lot of Australian cinema like blends like from that era it blends sort of the, like fucked up wacky bullshit with like the European sensibility sort of introspective type stuff. What was it called? The like, Australian New Wave,
Yeah.
Eraserhead.
Eraserhead.
Eraserhead. Oh.
This is a good conversation. It's all about filmmaking, right?
Yeah, I don't think it needs to be explicitly everything is about, like...
Yeah, because listen, we're not just like some fucking dickheads with like a Spider-Man 2 Blu-ray who are like, this movie's awesome! Man, Spider-Man 3 fucking sucks!
I fucking love Sam Raimi!
I hate you, Sam Raimi! Spider-Man 3 sucked my cock!
I was about to rip this shirt and then I realized I just got this yesterday.
Don't rip the shirt.
The Baker's Eddie shirt. Shout
So
out.
don't expose yourself on camera.
Yeah.
You
We're
buy
making band shirts.
Sorry?
Music shirts.
Yeah, you got your fucking
I also
book. Yeah?
It's a jazz,
Oh yeah, fuck.
it's a jazz album.
Ah.
What were our music shirts today?
Yeah, for a film podcast.
Yeah, for a film podcast.
It's Lee. I gotta look at it because I can't remember the guy's name. I've listened. I like the album. I've listened to it. I'm not a fake fan, but it's just cool. It's cool text, by the way.
Great Blue Note.
Great Blue Note Records. Well, there's that clip of Donald Trump talking about David Lynch.
Yeah, true.
He says, David Lynch, the great filmmaker.
I actually still don't know what the context
Yeah, I
is.
don't
I
even know
can't
what you said.
remember either.
I just know you said that.
I have seen the full clip before. Hold on.
David Lynch, David Lynch, David
Remember
Lynch.
Sneeko talking about David Lynch and that?
Yeah, hold on. Let's pull up.
It just like framing it in this dumb mess.
A story that just came out. David Lynch, you know, the great filmmaker. David Lynch. He puts down headline, Trump could go down. This is a Hollywood guy. The reason I do this is, you know, you don't hear this. And plenty of them voted for me. Plenty of them voted for me. David Lynch could go down as one of the greatest presidents in history. Of course, there goes his career, right, in Hollywood. Veteran filmmaker David Lynch believes President Donald Trump could be remembered as one of the greatest presidents in American history.
Donald Trump is just bullshitting here because, like, he supported Bernie Sanders.
Yeah.
I've seen, there's, like, old tweets of David Lynch who's like, yay, Bernie Sanders for president. Like,
It was probably like some irony thing. He said one of the greatest presidents, but in the sense of like greatest failures. There's an interview here afterwards saying David Lynch clarifies he didn't praise Trump, tells him you are causing suffering and division.
see, this is very relevant. Trump back in office, David Lynch dying.
Yeah.
It's all very relevant.
That's why he took him out. He took him out.
He got shooters on David Lynch.
Yeah, fuck. Trump got... That's why another reason for, you know, if you're any US listeners, which I sincerely doubt.
If there's any listeners, which
If anyone listening, I
listening,
sincerely doubt, because it's just like three people talking about films and that, but...
It'll be highly
which is half of all podcasts. But...
but like I said, we're not just like Spider-Man 3 sucks.
Yeah, we actually
I can't tell you.
I like to think we're pretty insightful.
Yeah,
about
I
films.
can't tell you in which way it sucks. I have no experience doing anything creative ever, but it sucks.
But I was saying, if you're in the US right now, you might want to. I'm not saying anything.
Okay,
That would
so
get us
if anyone makes
demonetized.
fun, I'm just letting people know, if anyone makes fun of the way I framed the camera in this, I'm blocking you.
Yeah. So keep that in mind. So keep that.
Also, is that the low battery warning?
No, what, the little red dot?
Yeah.
No, it's just it is
Oh,
recording.
there's a thing on the left as well.
What? Is there? What happened?
Oh shit.
If there's anything more to add.
Guys, I got a mixtape coming out.
Yep, guys.
Guys, watch the Robo Cafe Christmas video.
No, guys, watch.
When are you uploading that?
It's soon, probably like tomorrow. I gotta figure out like a title for it as well. A catchy, you know, YouTube algorithm pleasing title.
Yeah, that's the fun about working with YouTube, guys. You gotta please the algorithm. You gotta please
Yeah,
Mr.
you have to present it because Mr. Beast fucking ruined everything, right?
Well, Mr. Beast is always watching, so you have to.
You have to be a.
Mr. Beast manually reviews every.
It's kind of Mr. Beast's kind of like the Eye of Sauron of YouTube. Like, if you don't want to be under his gaze, because you're fucked if you do.
Well, Chandler is sort of like the Eraserhead baby.
Ah, yes. Yeah.
Chris?
Yeah, Chris Tyson is sort of like the
Oh, I thought we were talking
Eraserhead.
about Chris Chandler. I was.
I was listening to the Robo Cafe podcast. It was like you were joking about like a bingo sheet that would reference Chris Chan every episode. Now we've done that in the, in the continuation.
Bring it back.
In any case, guys, if you enjoyed this episode,
Make sure to like this. Next episode, we're going to talk about the Oscars.
Yeah.
I'm going to watch all the movies. I don't think you will.
I won't, because there's like a week until the Oscars, so I'm going to basically, since I'm not working on this fucking video, I'm basically planning on cramming my brain full of as many as I can.
Okay.
Anyway, guys, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a...
Guys,
Give it a thumbs
Oscars,
up.
what we weigh.
Give it a subscribe and turn on that notification bell. And, yep, we'll see you guys in the next video.
Hello. We're all very happy to be here tonight. First of all, I'd like to introduce my boys. This is Chucko, and this is Buster, and this is Pete. I'm David Lynch, and this is Bob, and this is Dan. And we just wanted to get together and thank all of the people that have supported Eraserhead through the years, and particularly thank the New Art Theater for its support. The New Art was one of the first theaters to ever show Eraserhead. Also, the boys wanted me to wish you peace and happiness. And these guys aren't just a bunch of goofballs. They know that there's plenty of suffering in the world, and they spent many years with little iron hooks in their backs up on Sunset Boulevard. And but they tell me that there's this all-pervading happiness underneath everything. And the more time I spend with them, the more I believe it. And so we wish you peace and happiness, and long live Eraserhead. Thanks a million.